Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here going to be jumping into Mesa Plains with a brand new save file in our return to the rails. We are going to be trying to spend a little more time on this map than we did last time. Now we've been away from the game for a little bit, about 5-6 months. So we're just going to jump in, see what's changed, what's going on, what's new, what's good, what's doing. So we're just going to go for it and jump right in and get to building. We know we have a lot to build, so you got to start somewhere. Might as well get right to it. Alright, let's turn around and jump right in here. We're going to grab some rails. We're going to keep it simple off of the start here. Not going to go crazy with anything. Probably could auto do most of this. We don't really need to turn around and do a heck of a lot here, but we're just let's see. Actually, probably take this out straight just for a little bit. We don't need anything curving right off of the bat, so let's take this out, give us a little bit of room to work with, and then we'll turn around, just put in a simple turnaround here, see what we can get away with, remember what we're doing kind of thing. We'll keep it, what did we like, 50s, something like that. Probably don't need it to be that wide, but we will do something like that. What happens if we keep it? I wonder if we can get back around. If we go, looking for exactly what you want is difficult. Close enough. Alright, now let's go back the other way. I think we can do this faster. And there we go. Been a hot minute, but it's all coming back. Guess we could turn around and actually fly while we do this. May make life even easier. That was certainly a nice addition to the game when we got it. Might be running into a rock here and a bush. I don't know how great we're actually getting around to our target. Let's just leave it somewhere in there and see what that does. And then we'll turn around and come down here and get rid of a few things. Still removing rocks with the saw. Not sure about that one. Alright, we'll get rid of that. Come back here. Let's go grab. See if we can find our link somewhere here. There we go. Nice and easy. And we're just going to link that all the way down the dock. So we're not going to worry about what the curve is or any of the rest of that. This is where we actually want in our straight piece. So we're going to turn around and crank this back. And I think we went like 25. So if we can try to keep it somewhat uniformed, we'll try to do that. And then I think we went 50 for 50, which is only going to matter in the event that it lines us up somewhere, which it does not. So we're just going to eyeball this one. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Yeah, why did we take that out so far? We took it out way too far, actually, is the problem. We could get rid of some of that wobble in there, actually. Let's just eyeball it somewhere that we're not going to get. Somewhere we're not going to get a kink bend in the thing is really the idea, because then we'll turn around and just let it auto step. From there, which will do just fine. We could do the same thing actually and shorten this curve a little bit and alleviate that side. But I think, you know what, for now, we're doing just fine. And we're just going to get running down the rail. We're obviously going to change that end anyway, because we know we're going to be sending trades out that way too. But right now, we are a logging company. That's all we are. We don't have anything going on. All we have is a couple of flat cars. So we're not really looking at doing much. Alright, let's see. What do we get here? This is where we definitely want it. Because we want to be straight, but we obviously want to be on top of all the ground too. So let's just go ahead and do that, and then we'll auto snap it. We're going to get a little bit of grade fluctuation in there, but just what it is. And we're not going to worry about any of that stuff. We're going to eliminate it, take it out if we need to. No big deal. Now what are we running into? What don't you want to do any further than that? That's fine. It's long enough spline. Not going to have to worry about it too much, although it depends on how we're going to do this. It's almost easier actually if we just bring these into one rail right here and then break them out. I wonder, you know, before we get too crazy, let's go ahead and come up with a new master plan that we don't really have. So we'll just kind of eyeball something out for now. Again, this whole layout, we know with this map, as we add things, a lot is going to change, right? That we know for sure. So we're not going to turn around and worry about setting in stone. What if we just did something? Could just do something like that and keep it all in line. Would work. Let's see. Let's work this out space-wise. Yeah, I think somewhere in there we could definitely get away with it. Alright, so we'll get rid of that. And then we'll come back in. We're going to go with that. Alright, and then, no, we'll get rid of that one, and then we'll replace it. Just gonna say, what is your beef with that? Alright, that'll just make it easier for us to get going. Again, all of this is going to change for sure. What are you unhappy about? Sometimes the auto feature on here can be... Oh, because it went... Wait, what? Because it went to the link of the dock and not the link of the... Awkward. Alright, let's get rid of that. Let's see if we can get it to attach from this end. Nope. Still wants to grab the link. There we go. Functioning rail. Alright, that's cool. That's cool. That'll get us started. That's all we're looking for, is a start. You gotta get started somewhere, and especially on these big maps, like, you know, you just gotta go. That is nope. Look at that. Said it was good. It was not good. Alright, thing to be aware of. Seems like it's pickier than it used to be, though. I doubt it, because I don't think anything has changed at all in the build of the game since the last time we played. Alright, let's see, take a look behind it. So it says it's all good. All good. Don't know why it went into the ground last time. Awkward thing. Oh, that's why. There's a little rise right in there. And it's not a huge fan. Alright. Snap it short. One thing with the auto snap stuff, you know, easy to remember was always that, like, sometimes you just have to adjust the length. You pull it out too far, too short. We'll definitely adjust things. So we'll just kind of try to run things out in decent segments. Not trying to get too much out of things. Whoa, we bounced off of something. Alright, we know our final destination is up there somewhere. We're going to try to run this through the trees. Let's try to run it through the trees, why not? Alright, I have a couple of things we'll have to get rid of here. Just going to keep this nice and simple. These are the ones that don't go away. Those are just awkward looking. Too close. We'll get rid of you. We'll get rid of you too. No point in having some bushes derail our trains. That one is not going anywhere. Everything else probably looks okay. So if I remember right, you got a bunch of tricky little ones like that that can definitely cause you a problem. Yep, there we are. That's exactly what we're talking about. Just keep an eye out for all the little sticks and twigs. They definitely on your original laydown of your track will cause you more than a few problems. Been there before. If we can actually make it down the rail without being derailed on our first go, I will be more than stunned and amazed. It's one of the advantages, I guess, if you start with Betsy. This time we started with the wait a minute. We did not start out with Betsy, but that is one of the advantages, I guess, is what I was thinking, is that it's just easier to re-rail the thing. Always a nice advantage with Betsy. Any of the tank engines, to be honest, have that advantage. Alright, here we go. A couple more to get rid of here. Trees. You guys should be okay. Seem like you're outside of the box. These don't really go away. Look like they should, but they don't. Hopefully that doesn't cause us a problem. I don't think it will. Usually, like, branches don't cut. Whoa. Wait a minute. Where did I see that? Right there. That will get you. That'll definitely get. It shouldn't. Don't get me wrong. A dandelion should not derail your locomotive, but I do believe that will derail your locomotive. I think our target zone, or our first target, is up here. So we're going to go ahead and lay in some dock work here, just to make things a little bit easier for us to have a target to. Try to make as much headway on a rail as we can today and actually get somewhere all in one go. Don't think we're gonna have a hook out here. It's a short one on this one if I remember right. Yeah, there we go. We'll connect again here, and then we're gonna have to just lay in some straight rail. But you know what? Let's do it right at the end of the dock, just so we can keep things flexible. Flexible and simple. So whatever does that is going to be the idea. We'll run this out. We're going to want it to the edge of the industry. Going to have a lot of brush over here to get rid of just what it is. This one will run out. Yeah, we'll run it out past. Which that gets so close. And especially with the big locos nowadays, we're going to bend it out just slightly so we hopefully don't run into any issues there with the big locos. And then this, I think we're just going to pull into... Yeah, we'll pull into just dropping a switch somewhere here. Or do we want to run the switch? The kicker is, do we just want to run it straight? Could always, it is kind of nice to have something straight somewhere. So let's do that rather than bending everything. We'll just run. Alright. We'll run that to there. Give us some nice breathing room. That should work there. And then we'll go this. Oh, nope. Missed it. Totally my fault. Get rid of that. Do this again. Feels like learning to do it all over again. Alright, there we go. Boom. Happy. Should be happy with that. That rock, I don't know, you know. That's one of those. It's too questionable to leave it there. We're not gonna wreck a paint job on it. Still no damage model in the game. That's a bummer. Would have been a good one to see. We're just gonna clear that out. We'll get rid of these while we're at the cutting and chucking part of it. Just get rid of anything in eye shot here. There we go. Those we can leave. No problem there. That's all going to be good. We'll go out that way after a short bit here. We are going to turn around. Throw it a little straight here. I think 20 should do it. We just don't want to have switches on top of each other when it comes to auto flipping on the map. That's always a bit of a pain. So we're probably going to have to change the angle of our rail over there a little bit, but we are going to turn around and throw a switch in here for later construction. We know we're going to want the rail to head off that direction as well. So we will stick that in just for the time being. Alright, then we're going to grab this one. And we will head off in that direction. This is going to be open rail, so we're going to try to keep it to 60. And maybe we won't actually have to worry about it. Probably like that the best. That should do. Alright. And then from here we should get a lucky one, and hopefully we'll just be able to auto snap this one. Bam. And then we'll just go through and we'll get rid of the trees. Again, we are not going to turn around and worry about, you know, plenty of times I've gone through and tried not to cut down trees and all the rest of that. Not going to worry about it this time. Just putting in rail, and we're going to go where we go. Trees, bushes, rocks, out of the way of progress. The rail is going where it wants to go. Alright, looks like we got a nice curve there going in. That should get us out to our logging camp. Alright, cool. Then we're going to want to come off of this side, of course, that's now slightly askew. And we'll bring this all the way back to 0. Plus. Because I just want to get this back to a little bit of what I feel like is straight. Cool. I'm cool. A little bit of an arc in there. Don't really want a big arc in there. Not what we're looking for. Alright. We'll run this out until we can gather up that rail, which I feel like we should be able to do somewhere in there. And then we'll come in, keep doing that, and get rid of all of this stuff. It's just in our way. Did you go away? Is this one of those trees that just sounds like it's cutting down? Or doesn't sound like it's cutting down? Check that out. Stacked bushes. Watch out, folks. It's out there. Little bush. Those are one of those death to train sticks that we've all run into. Alright, there we go. Should be good-ish. Not gonna be good. There's no way. We'll have a lot more to clean up, that's for sure. Alright, this side, I think we're gonna run like that. You gonna give me? Alright, good. That should allow us to connect these last ones. Building the track always been one of my favorite portions of the show. There we go. It's nice to have taken a little bit of a break. Played a lot of hours straight through. There we go. It has been good. Fun to get back building. Look at these little bushes you cannot trust. You'd almost like to leave them there as just decor by the set, but you can't trust it. Like even this one, this is sketch, but I don't think we'll hit it because it's a branch. So usually you can get away with the cab slappers, just not the tree trunks. Alright, and then again down here, we know we are going to want to break off to the right eventually. So what we're going to do is go ahead and throw in a little bit of a straightaway here. We'll just go, we'll try to standardize some of the stuff. When we want a straight, we'll just try to keep it at 20. And then we will throw in a switch here on this side. Switch that. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and grab one of these so we don't send anybody off to their doom. If it's gonna give us link, it's not gonna give us link because it wants us to take out the tree and the shrubbery first. So we shall do that. Shrubbery, shrubbery, shrubbery. Alright, lots to get rid of here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, there we go. Looking good. Those are the little terrors on the track, I'll tell you that much, that's for sure. Get that, there we go, safety first. And then we will grab back to our rail. Making some progress. Just try to throw that one out as far as we can. Almost might as well start curving here, huh? Yeah, why not? We don't have any reason not to. And maybe we can avoid some of those rocks and just leave them there for decoration. So we'll do something like that, and then we'll clean up the last little bit here in the mess. There we go. Just while we're at it, obviously we're not going to finish making the bump stops look good or anything like that. Not worried about it. Currently, we are just trying to make some headway and get to our logging. Get to our sawmill. We got to our logging camp. Now it's time to get the logging camp to the sawmill. This is the deal. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I think it'll get rid of it there. Yeah, it's just gonna float for a minute. There we go. Getting rid of all of that. Looking good. Some of the spots on this map were definitely a little bit tricky to see that you were getting everything out of there, but we seem to be doing okay. I think for the most part, probably pays just to wait. Where are we? Straight. Well, if that's straight, we gotta lose something anyway. We might as well just lose it right there. Then we know where it is, and we can get rid of it. Can we get rid of it? Or is this one that doesn't go away? Oh, this is going to be an interesting one, because that looks awfully big, and it's an aloe or something. I wonder if that's just not going to go away. Well, we'll find out when we run the track. Oh, when we run the train over it. If we have to, we'll delete the railing, get rid of the thing. Just be what we'll do. Alright, let's get back in the air and grab some more rail. Making good headway. We'll hit the opening here. Take a look at the map. We know we're headed over that way. We're just gonna come around the point there and chill on the way in. What's going on? Alright. Yeah, we should be good out there. Anywhere in here, if we need to break for other things, we could definitely do that. Alright, that looks like our target. There's really no point in driving right through those trees. So either go left or go right of the trees, I think is going to be the idea. So we'll go right of the, or left of the trees, just because I feel like it's going to give us a little better of an angle. Of course, we're right into a bunch of bush we can't get rid of. That's fine. Again, the health of the forest is not what we're concerned with here. Whoa. We were somewhere in there. There we are. Alright, I think we'll get over something like that. And then we'll start turning back that way. Although it probably, at this point, would be easier if we come down here, set our docks, and then come ripping out from there, as it'll let us sort out the way that we want to be. That's a tight turn that way, huh? Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out in the long run. That's not our problem right now. Our problem right now is right here. Actually, not really. It's the other side. Alright. First dock goes in. How much easier is that nowadays than it used to be? There's gotta be a dock link in there. It's gonna say no way. Alright, here we go. We're just gonna come running straight out from this side. Still don't think that's far enough. If we're just gonna connect them. Okay, we need to get that in, which that should be fine. So let's jump in here. We'll grab our switch. We're gonna want to be there, but go there, I think. And something like that should get it done there. Here we go. Get it. Bam. Connected. That's cool. Easy, easy. Can't complain. And then we're just going to go back to running this. How do we want to do this? We are in the forest either direction. We should have just maybe gone. Something like that. You know what, this section we'll just get rid of all the trees at one time. Turn around, do, boom. Actually, I think we're going to want to keep this one this way. And here we'll throw, what? Oh, that looked like it put it off into the moon, but it certainly didn't, so that's fine. Alright, let's get rid of all of this. All of the trees. Alright, machine gun it. I don't trust any of this stuff. Too many derails. Gonna try to leave that one though, because it'll look cool. Alright. Get rid of that one. We'll get rid of that one. We'll keep the legitimate trees in there. Get rid of the little things. Or to play like the invisible tree. Alright, so this we're going to swing out on that side of the rock, it looks like. And then the other one will go the other way eventually in the long run, which is fine by me. Alright, let's swing this way a little bit. Ooh, straight heads us right into the rock. We'll just go like that. A lot of things to get rid of, but again, this is that. We're not going to worry about that stuff. I'll get too tied up about not trying to take out trees and rocks and bushes and stuff like that, that I'll start letting it affect the rail. We're not going to do that. Now, at this point, let's just go for our connection. Wow, that's a long spline. I feel like we could almost take and change that angle, but you know what? That's not going to be horrible. A little bit of swerving and weaving is not. Everything doesn't have to be dead straight. That's just fact. And we can come in and lower some of this and pretty it up at some later point. But again, getting to running the train is going to be the idea of the day. Sending it flying. You know, this is the argument as to why the rocks come out with the saw. Never had a good one until now, but if you had to switch between like a rock removal tool and a saw in the process of doing this, it would not necessarily be fun. So that makes the most sense as to why it all happens with the saw. There you go. Finally figured it out. Yeah, I can only imagine having to go down the rail multiple times, once for rocks and once for trees. Though they could make it make a different sound. That would be cool. Alright, I think we're through there. So then all we have left. Wow! Alright, we'll come in here. We're gonna grab. What's it in here? There we go. We do want to grab a telegraph office. We're going to throw that out here just in case. So we don't even want it to be right next to the track or right next to the industry or anything like that. We certainly don't want to listen to it as we're coming in. Could almost put it over there on that little island. Would have been a horrible spot for it. You know what? For now, maybe we'll do a little something like this. Like this guy wants to live over here. Right off the side of the track here, almost flooded in the pond, but not quite. A little dangerously outside here on the edge of town. Or what's gonna be a town or something. I don't know. That's what we're gonna go with for now though. And then we're gonna come down here and we're going to wrap this in. Because again, for now, we're a logging company. We don't have to worry about everything else. We just have to worry about logs. And being able to make money off of logs. And do it as fast as possible. So, we're going to go with the same simple principle. Straight away, 20 meters, bam. Then we're going to throw in our loop here for now. Eventually, we're going to get rid of not having any loops or turnarounds is going to be our thing, but for now we are just going to make things happen as fast as possible. Alright, there we go. Let's get that back to 10 and see if we can get this around here. Sadly, we will be losing a bunch of these trees in here, just making this all work for now. But that's our goal. Oh, we didn't go up far enough. We didn't go up far enough. It's not going to work. Although, you know, for realistic terms, we don't even have to. We could just go sharper with this. This doesn't even have to be like a thing. Because it's only going to be very short term and temporary. We already know that. This is just a logging. Interesting. So this looks like it's going to be something in this neighborhood maybe anyway. So let's just go from there and then we'll just pull one of these like psych maneuvers. Looks like we're going to there, but we're not. It's total joke. We're going to go the other way. That's fine. I can live with this for now. And then somewhere in here, this is going to very easily go back to our other rail, right? We just have to wrap this around. Let's get you up out of the dirt, though, eh? So we'll do something like that. Just to make it. What? What? How awkward is that? What is it? Why is that? What is it doing? I don't even know. Alright, you know what we can do is we're going to come in. Stop doing that. Alright, we're going to come in here. Get rid of that. We're not going to need it. We got the straight on here, and for temporary purposes, we are just going to try to attach. Is going to be our goal. Track was somewhere right in here. Ooh, let's get lucky. Let's get lucky. Ounce of luck. No luck. We're not going to get lucky. Alright. We can do it the manual way. Somewhere in there is going to be fine. Whoops. Oh, what are you doing? Hopefully, did it swerve out? No, it didn't swerve out. This should be fine. Again, temporary line connection. Not, set in stone. This does not. Oh, did it again! Alright, come on. Hook up. There we go. And because of course that's just up on a little bit of a rise, that's why you want to be a pain. There we go. Stretching out the groundwork, that's what's going on. Right there you got a little rise going on. It's going to be alright on the turn. I don't think it's that big a deal. Again, it's temporary. If it wasn't, maybe I'd be a little more worried about it, but I think we should be able to get through it, no problem. And not have issues, but we'll have to see. This could be a little bit more of an incline than Montezuma wants to deal with, but we'll see. Alright, and this is, of course, one of the dense shrubbery areas on here. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that. We'll just get rid of it all. Sadly, it would be really cool to keep some of that stuff like looking along your railroad or on the very edge of the tracks, but more often than not, it just causes you to derail. Nice thing is nowadays we got the rocks and the bushes and all of that stuff. You can turn around and replace things how you want at will. So if you want to come through and decorate, definitely can do that. Hopefully we get a chance to do that some actually on this series instead of running through new stuff. That is one nice thing with the slowdown, I guess, in the updates. So it really gives you some time to go back and detail some of your maps if that's how you like to do things. I know some people do not, but it is always an option. There we go. Or to go back and play some old ones. Nice thing, I myself have deleted all my saves and I'm just starting all from brand new. Though, it's a little unfair to say because I do have access to all my old saves, so. But as far as actively going, did delete them all, starting from fresh. Alright, so that doesn't look like it's clear, but it should be. It should be clear. Alright, we'll take just a quick zoom down the track from such an altitude that it wouldn't tell us if we missed anything anyway. Let's get down and try to go speed race. Ooh. Oh, there we go. One of those. Can't remove it. Our train is definitely not going to go this fast. See right there. Would have missed. For sure. Does that mean we missed back here too? Yeah, certainly did. Good, good, good. Lessons learned along the way, right? You can never check the rail too much, and with as many little ones as there are, you know we probably still missed at least 2 or 3 of them that our train is going to certainly find. Unremovable. Flying down a highway. Nope, we're moving now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bullet train. Alright, that's that way, that's that way. Those are all where we need them. The other rail we'll check some other day when we're anywhere near getting to cordwood. That should go. And this we're gonna flip. This we're gonna flip, 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 flip. Alright, and from there we think we are good. Ooh, that should be fine. We think we're good to go, which means we go fire up this bad boy for the first time. Here we go. Land. Bam. Alright, grabbing some wood. And we'll chuck that in there. Oh, we already had. Check that out. There was already heat in there. And so we're going to turn around and just jump right in. We do have the auto couplers on. Brakes. We got everything going on. We got water. We got heat. Oh, I bet you know what we don't have? Is water in the back of this thing. Wait a minute. Is there no water chute on this map either? That's a thing. There is no... Wait. Whoa, look at that. So this end did the same thing that that other end did. Well, it's a good thing we checked that. What about these? Well, that would have been... What about this side? That would have been a catastrophic start to our railroad. 10 feet, that's how far we would have gotten. 10. Alright, let's try to repair. First, repair the line. See, that is not cool. No, that's on their pre-snap. Alright, that's cool. Yeah, those are just too close. And they're a bit of an issue. Alright, there's that. Should be good. So you have like probably no water in you though, right? Oh, it does have water in it. Alright. We're not gonna worry about it then. Let's hook it up. Reverse that. Oh yeah. There we are. Oh, I suppose we got brakes on cars. Fine. Yep. Alright. Are we just gonna run what we brung? That's the big question. Or do we pick up some more? Probably still have one brake on. Yeah, we do. So what do we got? These whole 5 apiece. We could pick up a few more. Could pick up a few more. Or do we just, you know what? We're just testing the rail. So if we're gonna derail, let's derail with 2 cars and not 7. That'll be our thing there. So we'll just grab a gear and head on out of here. This is what we're gonna do. Alright, let's not go nuts. Settle down. Montezuma back on the track. Yeah, looking good right there. Gotta give it. Alright. Well, if we actually make it out there, it'll be a shock. Environment looks great, map looks great. You know, to say that's all super cool. Alright, we'll go ahead and bump this up a little bit. Montezuma should not have too much of a hard time here on these turns. Nothing sharp for this one. At any rate. we are underway. Heading on through the station. Yeah, gonna work just fine for temporary. This will auto flip back. And we are just gonna hammer down and get what we can get. Alright, brakes are off, wood is full, water is warm, and we are rolling. Ooh, that could be dangerous. Woo! We made it, no problem. Alright, that's cool. We'll keep that. Try to bite down on it. See if we can get any more out of it. There we go. Chugging away, a little bit of an incline here, so we're actually losing speed wide open like that. Any little incline with the Montezuma is going to eat your speed. You can see not much of an incline back there at all, but enough to make it work, that's for sure. Montezuma is not a hill climber. Looking good though. Nice chugging little train there. Obviously not pulling much on this run, but if we can make the run as the track is intact, then we'll turn around and add some more cars. As I say, we are going to be in the logging business for a hot minute until we start making some money. Definitely going to try to run some full-size trains on this one. Map's big. Cargo quantity should be up. That's kind of the idea, or will be the idea for sure. Map definitely fits the style of the locos. And then we'll try to get a look here. Woo! We are good. Good. Big map. Everything actually running fairly smooth. This is going to be whatever. Oh, no. This is actually where we want to stop. That was pretty impressive for the brakes. Alright, let's go back here. There we are. See if we can load this up. Remember how all of this works. I don't think we'll be able to get that. Yeah, that one's not lined up. But we'll go ahead and let these drop quick. We just about drove right by our pickup. Not that that would have shocked me. More doing a test run. Alright, we'll edge that forward just a little bit there. Get this to load up. Everything working nice and fast here. We'll skip that. Just make it go a little faster. And we'll go ahead and get out of here. Kick that back up to the front of the loco. Everything working. Nice and dandy, cannot complain. which is good. Actually got through the shrubbery zone. Wow, I'm surprised. I have to say, that's shocking. Actually. Alright, let's chew down. Grab as much speed as we can get. Oop, down a little low. I do not think we're going to be flat in this area. That is the one thing with the auto snap, you know, is that you're going to lose less confirmation on what your track has done, obviously, because it will throw in some variation in there, and you're just not going to know what that is all the time. Let's go. It's going to be nice with this map. Turn around and pick up some faster locos for sure. This map does lend itself towards really running some wide open speeds. Though by no means an expert on this map. So we'll just be kind of route finding as we go. Everything looking good so far. That means we should be picking up more cars, definitely. Then the big debate comes in, you know, do you run the full-size cars or do you just continue to run the mini ones because you already have two of them? It's always been a bummer that you can't turn around and sell off stuff, so there is no point in, you know, selling these. You can't. You can delete them, but if you keep them, you know, you're always going to have these two flats, which either you're going to use for, I suppose, steel pipes, or you're going to use them for logs. Though they are about all you need to move around steel pipes, quite honestly. If you didn't want to have to buy more stock, you definitely don't need to. They'll move around enough to get the job done anyway. Montezuma, great looking little locomotive for sure. Betsy definitely easier to re-rail. Other than that, I think Montezuma is just a better all-around locomotive in pretty much every way. I think they pull around the same. This one hauls a lot more. I think it looks quite a bit better. Not that the Betsy looks bad for what it is. I just think that the Montezuma is a cooler looking locomotive. And at the end of the day, that's my advice for this game. Run what you think is cool. Oh no. There we go. Oh, whatever that is. We definitely don't need that. Not the goal. There it is. Right there. Would have been perfect. Except for that. The twig. You gotta be kidding. That's horrible. Alright, well, let's get a re-rail. No point in dilly-dallying. Sadly, we're going to have to re-rail it. There goes day one without any incidents. Is now going to work out. Alright, we'll get the brake off, and I suppose we dumped them all, so yeah, it looks like a full re-rail. That's crazy. One horrible little bush off, and then we'll go ahead and grab the last one. Do have to say the re-rail process much better than it was originally in the game. Alright, let's jump in there. Yeah, back into it all. Like a crazy lunatic. And then we'll get out of here. See if we can get this run to the house. Again, that's why we start out with small train instead of just adding a bunch of cars. We just had that many more to pick up. Granted, it does not make the first load pay very well, but I'll tell you what, I'll take the ease of use, because for as many times as we've started save files, I don't think we've gotten too many of them through the first load without running over something, especially on the other maps. Like, it's totally different on Pine Valley. You know, you can see the trees, but in most of the other maps, they do leave little sticks, twigs, and stones to get in your way every now and then. Which, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with that. Gives you a little something to do. Here we go, bringing it in. Normally, we wouldn't really be stopping here much, but I think we're gonna, this time, as we're bringing things to the dock, so we'll just turn around and get those offloaded, and then we'll turn around and bring ourselves around the switch area real quick, just so that we know everything is working out. We know we're within parameters here of what Montezuma is going to run on decently, so we shouldn't have any kind of issues. We'll make sure. And this one thing. What is that? What is that? Is it going to cause us a problem? No, maybe not. Oh, I'm paranoid. Every little shadow and every little stick. Alright, let's hop back aboard our loco here. And we'll just come around the curve. We are going to turn around and take advantage of the fact that our layout right now is just a big racetrack. So we're going to pick up at the logging camp, or we're going to take back. We'll be dropping at the depot, and then headed back this way. We'll be picking up and dropping off here. And likely we're just going to keep that running round trip, so we make as much money going both ways as possible. Not worried about just filling this in. Do have the difficult. What? We got another one, folks. Boy, that baby just jumps right up in the air. And I like how the brakes stop it, even though it's not. Where's our... Right there. Look at that. That's insane. Yeah, see, I still say that's crazy, you know? And I get it. You got to do it one way or another, however you do it. But that makes for a bit of a pain. Alright, we'll get that down. They're going to make me wish I picked Betsy just so I'd add less to Rerail. Alright, there we go. Whoop, 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 whoop. But that thing really, that was kind of a cool jump. I mean, I'll give it to it. It was kind of a neat, like, just skyward. I'm not sure that I agree with the twig skyward, making the loco go skyward in the first place, but other than that, I get it. Alright, there we are, good to go, and mash the gas one more time. Hey, if 2 is all we get, we'll still... That is not horrible. I'll take it. Definitely had more than that get in the way before. And in this... Normally we wouldn't run through the station this fast, but now we're on a mission. Just to make sure that we get through the end of the line here. There we go. So that is going to be the start, the lay-in, the first run, the first crashes. But for all intents and purposes, still going to call that one a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.